afternoon. This afternoon I'm going to teach you how to analyze transactions into T accounts for an entire company. Up to this point, we've done individual transactions that are really not attached to each other. So what I'm going to do with you is look at the International Travel Agency, which is owned and operated by Jane Rose. Jane earns her commissions through the sale of travel tickets. So she is asking us to record the transactions into the T accounts. Once we have completed that, then she's going to ask you to determine the balance for each account and do a check to make sure that the left side, the debit balances, equal the right side, the credit balances. If you look at the first transaction, it says we received cash for commissions on the sale of a European tour for two. So I've highlighted some of the key words to assist us. So if we receive cash, that means we have more cash. So we're going to add to cash on the left-hand side of our T account. So $225. And why are we getting cash? We're getting cash because of commissions. Commissions adds to what our business is worth, and so the amount is going to be written on the right-hand side or the credit side of the account. Something to remember, you always have to have your debit numbers equal your credit numbers. So if we put 225 on the debit side, you're going to have to put 225 on the credit side somewhere. Transaction number 2. Paid for repairs to the automobile. So, what are we paying for? We're paying for repairs to the automobile. We have an account here called automobile, but that would be for the purchase of a new automobile. So we're going to use automobile expense, way down at the bottom, $60.50. And what are we paying with? Of course, we're paying with cash. Okay, so if we're paying cash, we have less cash, and it's going to go on the right-hand side, or the credit side, excuse me. Oh dear, what happened to my column? There we go, we're back. So $60.50 on the right hand side of cash. Transaction number 3. We paid cash, or we paid rent for February, $200. So what are we paying for? We're paying for rent, $200. Rent is going to subtract from what our business is worth, so the amount is going to go on the left side or the debit side. And if we're paying for something, we're going to credit cash or subtract from cash. Transaction number 4. Received cash for commission from Air Canada for the sale of tickets in January, $350. So we received cash, so we have more cash. So we're going to put $350 on the debit side of cash. And why are we getting that money? We're getting that money from commissions. Therefore, commissions is going to go on the right-hand side or the credit side of commissions. Transaction number 5. We received cash from the sale of old equipment. So we're selling off some of our old equipment, and remember, equipment is an asset. So we receive cash, so we have more cash, so it's going to go on the debit side or the left-hand side of cash, $10. And we're selling some old equipment. So we have an account called office equipment here. So we have less office equipment, so we're going to put that amount on the credit side or the right-hand side of office equipment. Transaction number 6. Paid cash for taking clients out to dinner, $15. So if we're paying cash, we're going to have to credit our cash account, $15. And why are we paying this? Because we're taking the clients out to dinner. If you look at your account names, do we have one that's called taking clients out to dinner? No. So we're going to use our miscellaneous account. It's kind of an account that you can use for several things, but just make sure you don't use it too much. So we're going to use the debit side excuse me, of miscellaneous expense. Transaction number 7. Paid for advertising in the local newspaper, $12. So once again, if we paid for something, we're going to credit cash for $12. And why are we paying cash? For advertising in our local newspaper. Do we have an account called advertising? No, we don't. So once again, we need to use our miscellaneous account. So we're going to put $12 on the debit side of miscellaneous expense. Transaction number 8. We paid cash to the owner for personal use. So the owner is taking the money out of the business, or he's withdrawing the money for his personal use to go on a ski trip or a golf trip or a concert, whatever he would like. So we're paying cash. So we have less cash, $15. So it goes on the credit side of cash or the right hand side. And when the owner withdraws money, it goes on the left hand side of drawing or the debit side. Transaction number 9. Paid cash for gas and oil to be used in the automobile. So once again, we paid cash, so we're going to put it on the credit side of cash. And what are we paying for? We're paying for gas and oil to be used in the automobile. So once again, remember, we're not going to use the asset automobile because we're not buying a new automobile. We're going to have to use automobile expense to pay for that gas and oil. Transaction number 10. We received cash for commission on the sale of a world tour for two, $575. So we received cash, $575, because of commissions, $575. Transaction number 11. Received cash from the owner as an additional investment in the business, $480. So now the owner is putting money back into the business and his business is worth more money. So we receive cash. So it goes on the debit side of cash, $480. And the owner, Jane Rose, is giving us money as an additional investment. So the value of our capital is increasing. So we're going to put it on the credit side of capital. Transaction number 12. Received cash from the sale of old furniture. So we're selling some of our old furniture. So we receive cash. Once again, we're going to debit cash, $42. And we're selling some office furniture. So we have less office furniture, so we're going to put it on the credit side of furniture. Transaction number 13. Paid cash for washing the company automobile. So we paid cash, $9.50. And we paid it for washing that automobile. So we're going to put $950 on the right hand side, or the left hand side, sorry, or the debit side of automobile expense. Transaction 14. We paid cash to WestJet for part of amount owed, $16.50. So we paid cash, so it goes on the credit side of cash. And now, who are we paying the cash to? We're paying the cash to WestJet. So we owe WestJet less money because it's a liability. So we're going to put that amount on the debit side or the left-hand side of WestJet. Transaction number 15. Received cash for commissions for the sale of a group tour, $800. So once again, we receive cash, so it goes on the left-hand side of cash. And we receive that cash because of commissions, so it goes on the right-hand side or the credit side of commissions. There you have it. We've analyzed all of the transactions into the T accounts. The next video will show you how to determine the balances.